Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Have you ever dreamed of a moment that could change everything? Today we're sharing an incredible chapter in Ly Tu Huyen's journey. A day that started with hope and ended with dreams coming true. The fish pond in front of their humble home has finally reached harvest time. And what happens next will fill your heart with joy and inspiration. Join us as we witness Maya's delightful laughter, see the fruits of months of hard work, and discover how one successful harvest brings this beautiful family closer to their dreams. This is a story about patience, perseverance, and the sweet rewards that come to those who never give up. Stay with us until the end to see what Ly and Huyen plan to do with their incredible success. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. For months, Ly and Huyen had watched their fish pond with careful attention, nurturing it like a precious garden. The pond sat right in front of their modest wooden house, a small body of water that reflected the sky and held within it the promise of a better future. Ly had dug this pond himself, working long hours under the hot sun, shaping the earth with his strong hands and unwavering determination. Huyen had helped him line it, fill it, and prepare it for the fingerlings they had purchased with their carefully saved money. Every morning, Ly would walk to the pond's edge before dawn, checking the water quality, ensuring everything was perfect for the fish to thrive. He had studied fish farming from older villages, asking questions, learning techniques, understanding the delicate balance required to raise healthy fish. Huyen would join him in the afternoons, helping to feed the fish, watching as they grew from tiny fingerlings into substantial creatures that moved through the water like silver flashes. Maya loved the fish pond too. She would sit by its edge after school, dangling her feet carefully above the water, talking to the fish as if they were her friends. "Grow big and strong," she would tell them in her sweet voice. "Ba and Ma are working so hard for you." The little girl didn't fully understand the economics of fish farming, but she understood that this pond was important, that it represented hope for her family. As the months passed, the fish had grown remarkably well. Dee's careful attention to water temperature, feeding schedules, and pond maintenance had paid off. The fish were healthy, active, and growing at an excellent rate. Huyen would sometimes catch Dee standing by the pond at sunset, a slight smile on his face as he watched the fish surface for their evening feed. She knew what he was thinking. He was calculating, planning, dreaming about what this harvest could mean for their family. Finally, the day came when Dee determined the fish had reached optimal size for harvest. He had been monitoring their growth carefully, consulting with experienced fish farmers in the village, and everyone agreed. It was time. The fish were mature, healthy, and ready for market. Any longer and they would start competing for resources. Any shorter and they wouldn't fetch the best prices. "Tomorrow," Dee announced one evening, his voice carrying a mixture of excitement and nervousness. "Tomorrow we harvest the fish." Huyen's eyes widened. They had been waiting for this moment, but now that it was here, her heart raced with anticipation. "Tomorrow," she repeated, reaching for his hand. "Are you sure we're ready?" "We're ready," Ly confirmed with a confident nod. "I went to town today and purchased a proper fishing net, a big one, strong enough to handle our entire harvest. We'll start early in the morning when the fish are most active." That evening, they could barely contain their excitement. Maya sensed the special energy in the air and asked endless questions about what would happen the next day. "Will there be lots of fish, Ba? Will they jump? Can I help?" Dee answered each question patiently, his eyes twinkling with affection for his curious daughter. "Yes, little bird, there will be lots of fish. And yes, they might jump. So you need to stand back and be very careful. And yes, you can help. You can be our cheerleader and our helper. But you must promise to listen to Ma and do exactly as we say, all right?" Maya nodded solemnly, taking her responsibility seriously. That night she could barely sleep, tossing and turning in her small bed, imagining the big fish and the exciting day ahead. Huyen, too, found sleep elusive. She lay beside Day, listening to his steady breathing, thinking about how much this harvest could mean for them. They had invested their limited savings into this pond, into the fingerlings, into the feed. It was a risk, but Day had been so confident, so knowledgeable. She had trusted him then, and she trusted him now. The next morning arrived with a beautiful sunrise painting the Vietnamese highlands in shades of gold and pink. Day was already up before dawn, checking the net one more time, preparing the large containers where they would place the harvested fish, ensuring everything was in order. Huyen joined him shortly after, having prepared a quick breakfast and made sure Maya was dressed in old clothes that could get wet and muddy. The fish pond shimmered in the early morning light, its surface occasionally broken by the movement of fish below. Day stood at the edge, the large net in his hands, and took a deep breath. This was it, the moment they had been working toward for months. Huyen positioned herself on the opposite side of the pond, ready to help pull the net when needed. "Ready?" Day called out to her. "Ready!" Huyen responded, her voice strong despite the butterflies in her stomach. Maya stood at a safe distance, practically bouncing with excitement, her eyes as wide as saucers. "I'm ready too," she shouted, making her parents laugh and breaking some of the tension. Day began to carefully cast the net into the water, the weighted edges sinking while the center remained afloat, creating a perfect semicircle. He had practiced this motion many times, and now it paid off as the net deployed beautifully. Slowly, methodically, he began to drag it through the water, and Huyen moved to help him, both of them working in synchronized harmony that came from months of working side by side. As they pulled, the net began to grow heavy, very heavy. Dee's arms strained with the weight, and Huyen dug her heels into the muddy bank, pulling with all her strength. The water churned and roiled as the net drew closer to shore, and suddenly they could see them. Dozens, no hundreds of fish, their silvery bodies flashing in the sunlight, caught in the net and being drawn inexorably toward the bank. "Oh my God," Huyen breathed, her eyes wide with amazement. "Dee, look at them all." "Keep pulling," Dee encouraged, his face flushed with effort and excitement. "We're almost there." And then, as the net reached the shallow water near the bank, and the fish became visible in all their glory, Maya let out a sound that would become one of her parents' most treasured memories. She laughed, a pure, delighted, ringing laugh that seemed to contain all the joy in the world. It wasn't just a giggle or a chuckle. It was a full-bodied, uninhibited expression of wonder and happiness. "Pa! Ma! Look at the big fishes! They're so big!" Maya's laughter rang out across the pond, across the yard, seeming to echo off the mountains themselves. Her small hands were clasped together, and she was jumping up and down, her entire body vibrating with excitement. Day and Huyen couldn't help but laugh too, even as they strained to pull the heavy net onto the bank. Maya's joy was infectious, and her laughter made all the hard work, all the worry, all the investment suddenly feel worth it. This moment, seeing their daughter so happy, seeing the results of their labor literally spilling out before them, was priceless. The fish were indeed large. Months of careful feeding and pond management had produced beautiful, healthy fish that were well above market size. They flopped and jumped in the net, their scales catching the sunlight like scattered diamonds. There were carp, tilapia, and several other species that Day had carefully selected for their growth rate and market value. "Maya, can you bring that big bucket over here?" Huyen called out, and Maya eagerly complied, dragging a large container toward her mother. Together they began the process of transferring the fish from the net to the containers, working quickly to ensure the fish remained in good condition. The work was exhausting. Each time they thought they had emptied the net, they would pull it further and discover more fish. Dee's shirt was soaked with sweat and pond water, and Huyen's hands were red from gripping the net, but neither of them complained. Instead, they worked with focused intensity, occasionally exchanging excited glances that spoke volumes. Maya appointed herself the official counter, though her counting got confused after about 20 fish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bah, how many is that? Okay, 6, 7, 8. Her earnest attempts to keep track made her parents smile even as they worked. As the morning progressed and the sun climbed higher in the sky, the full extent of their harvest became clear. They had containers full of fish, more than they had dared to hope for. The pond had been incredibly productive, yielding a harvest that exceeded even Dee's optimistic projections. "Huyen," Day said, straightening up and wiping his brow. "Look at all this. Look at what we've done." Huyen surveyed the containers full of beautiful, healthy fish, and tears suddenly sprang to her eyes. "We did it," she whispered. "We really did it." Day pulled her into a quick embrace, not caring that they were both wet and muddy. "We did it together," he corrected gently. "You, me, and our little helper over there." Maya, hearing herself mentioned, ran over and hugged both her parents' legs, creating a muddy, wet, completely happy family huddle. But the work wasn't over. Now came the crucial part, getting these fish to market while they were still fresh. Day and Huyen worked quickly to sort the fish by size and species, knowing that organization would help them sell more efficiently at the market. They loaded the containers onto their small truck, securing them carefully to prevent spillage during the journey. The drive to the market took about an hour, navigating the winding mountain roads carefully to avoid jostling the precious cargo. Maya sat between her parents, chattering excitedly about the fish, about how big they were, about how many people would want to buy them. Her innocent enthusiasm kept her parents' spirits high during the anxious journey. They arrived at the market just as it was coming to life with the early morning rush. The fish market section was already bustling with vendors setting up their stalls and buyers beginning to make their rounds. Dee had arrived early enough to secure a good spot, and they quickly set up their display, arranging the fish attractively to catch buyers' eyes. The fish looked magnificent, fresh, large, and obviously well cared for. Their scales gleamed, their eyes were clear, and they were still lively and active. Experienced buyers could tell immediately that these were quality fish from a well-managed pond. It didn't take long for the first customer to approach. An older woman who ran a restaurant in town stopped by their stall, examined the fish critically, and asked about pricing. Dee quoted a fair price, confident in the quality of his product. The woman nodded approvingly and purchased a significant quantity on the spot. "These are beautiful fish," she commented as Day and Huyen packed her purchase. "Where is your pond? I'll want to buy from you again." That first sale set the tone for the morning. Word seemed to spread quickly through the market that there was fresh, high-quality fish available. And soon Day and Huyen had a steady stream of customers. Restaurant owners, home cooks, and even other vendors came to purchase their fish. Some bought small quantities for family meals, while others bought in bulk for commercial purposes. Huyen handled the money while Dee weighed and packaged the fish, working as an efficient team. They had discussed pricing beforehand, agreeing to be fair but firm, knowing the value of their product. Customer after customer walked away satisfied, and the containers of fish steadily emptied. Maya, growing tired, sat on a small stool nearby, watching her parents work with pride evident on her small face. Occasionally, she would tell passers-by, "Those are our fish. Ba and Ma grew them." Her innocent marketing made several customers smile and stop to look. By mid-morning, something remarkable had happened. they had sold out completely. Every single fish had been purchased. Day and Huyen stood behind their empty containers, slightly stunned by how quickly and completely their harvest had been embraced by the market. "We need to go home," Day said, his voice carrying a note of disbelief. "We need to count the money properly." The drive home seemed to take forever, though it was the same hour-long journey. Both Day and Huyen were quiet, each lost in their own thoughts, hardly daring to calculate what they might have earned. Maya, exhausted from the exciting day, dozed between them. Once home, they settled at their small kitchen table. Huyen carefully emptied the money bag, and together they began to count. Bills and coins were sorted into neat piles. They counted once, then recounted to be sure. Then they pulled out their carefully maintained notebook, where they had recorded every expense related to the fish pond. The cost of digging, lining, fingerlings, feed, equipment, the net, transportation, market fees. Dee's hand shook slightly as he did the final calculation. He looked up at Huyen and she saw her own disbelief reflected in his eyes. $1,000, he said quietly. "After all expenses, we've made $1,000 profit." For a moment, they just stared at each other. $1,000 was an enormous sum for them. It represented months of their regular income. It was more money than they had ever had at one time. It was life-changing. Huyen covered her mouth with her hands, tears streaming down her face. $1,000, she repeated, as if saying it out loud would make it real. "Dee, we did it. We really did it." Day reached across the table and took both her hands in his. His own eyes were wet. "We did it together. Every early morning, every late night, every moment of worry and work. It was worth it. All of it. All." Maya, waking from her nap and sensing the emotional moment, climbed into her mother's lap. "Why is Ma crying? Are you sad?" "No, little bird." Huyen laughed through her tears, hugging Maya tightly. "Ma is happy. Very, very happy. Ba and Ma worked very hard. And now we have something wonderful." "The fish money?" Maya asked with the directness of children. "Yes, sweetheart, the fish money." As the reality sank in, Day and Huyen began to talk about what this meant for their family. They had always been careful with money, never spending frivolously, always saving what little they could. But this was different. This was enough to make real changes, to pursue real dreams. "The house," Huyen said softly, looking around at their modest home. "You've always talked about rebuilding it properly before the rainy season comes." Dee nodded slowly. Their current house, while serviceable, had issues. The roof leaked in several places during heavy rains. Some of the wooden supports were beginning to rot. The floor was uneven in places. It was safe enough for now, but Day worried about the coming rainy season, especially with Maya growing and needing more space. "We could do it," Day said, his voice filling with cautious excitement. "We could buy proper materials, good timber, metal roofing that won't leak, concrete for a solid foundation. We could build a house that would last for years, that would keep you and Maya safe and dry no matter how hard it rains." Huyen's eyes lit up at the thought. A proper house, one that didn't require buckets scattered around to catch leaks, one where they wouldn't have to worry during storms. It had seemed like an impossible dream. But now, with this money, it was suddenly within reach. "We need to be smart about this," Huyen cautioned, her practical nature asserting itself. "We should put this money somewhere very safe. We should plan carefully, get estimates from builders, buy materials wisely." Day agreed completely. This money represented too much hard work and too many dreams to be careless with. They discussed finding a secure place to keep it, perhaps opening a bank account in town. They talked about getting multiple quotes for construction work, about doing as much of the labor themselves as possible to save money, about timing the construction to be completed before the heavy rains began. That evening, after Maya had gone to bed, Day and Huyen sat together outside their house, looking at the now empty fish pond. The surface was calm again, reflecting the stars beginning to appear in the darkening sky. We should start refilling it soon, Dee mused. If we manage this right, we could have 2 harvests a year. Maybe even expand the pond. Huyen leaned against his shoulder, feeling a contentment and hope she had never thought possible in her life. One step at a time, she said gently. First, the house. Then we can think about expanding. Dee wrapped his arm around her. You're right, as always. First, we build a proper home for our family. Everything else can wait. They sat in comfortable silence, each imagining the future. A sturdy house with a roof that didn't leak. Walls that kept out the cold mountain winds. A proper floor where Maya could play without splinters. Maybe even separate rooms, giving them all more space and privacy. These weren't extravagant dreams. They were simple, practical wishes. But for Day and Huyen, they represented security, stability, and progress. The night air grew cooler, and they eventually went inside. But before sleeping, Dee carefully wrapped the money in cloth and placed it in the most secure spot they had. They lay in bed, holding hands, both too excited to sleep immediately despite their exhaustion. Thank you, Huyen whispered in the darkness. For what? Dee asked. For believing we could do this. For your hard work. For teaching me about fish farming. For never giving up on us. On building a better life. Dee squeezed her hand. Thank you for trusting me. For working alongside me. For making this house a home worth improving. We're a team, Huyen. Everything we accomplish together. As we come to the end of today's story, we hope you feel as inspired as we do by Dee and Huyen's incredible success. Their journey from preparing the pond months ago to today's triumphant harvest reminds us that patience and hard work truly do pay off. That moment when Maya's laughter rang out across the pond, pure and joyful, seeing those beautiful fish her parents had raised with such care. It captured everything beautiful about family, perseverance, and dreams coming true. The $1,000 they earned isn't just money. It's security. It's hope. It's proof that their sacrifices matter. Now, as they carefully save every cent to rebuild their home before the rainy season, we see the wisdom in their planning and the strength of their partnership. Day and Huyen don't just dream. They work, they save, they build, step by step, toward a better future for their family. Their story reminds us that success doesn't always come in grand gestures, but in steady dedication to our goals and the people we love. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful journey today. If this story touched your heart, please give it a like. Subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories from Day, Huyen, and Maya's life. And share in the comments your own stories of hard-earned success. What dreams are you working toward? We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, may your efforts be rewarded and your dreams come true. Goodbye, friends, and see you soon.